Good morning. As you know, early last month, we practiced a school safety drill for what to do in the event of an active shooter. Today, we're going to focus on an equally important part of safety, how to prevent violence before it ever reaches that point. You'll be watching a video from Sandy Hook Promise that shows what warning signs to look for and how to respond if you're concerned about someone. This video is also part of how we are addressing Ohio House Bill 123, the Save Our Students Act, which requires schools to provide safety training and prevention education. This is a serious topic, and we ask that you give it your full attention and approach it with respect and sensitivity. Please also know that if at any point this feels overwhelming, it is completely okay to step out of your classroom or to talk with a counselor or another trusted adult afterward. If you do feel the need to step out of the classroom, please leave quietly and report to the counseling office where you can stay for the remainder of the advisory. If you choose to remain in the classroom, please direct your attention to the screen and make sure to be respectful to this topic and to others in your classroom. At this time, please put away your materials and direct your attention to the video. We appreciate your cooperation today.
Hi, I'm Sarah and I'm from Sandy Hook Promise.
Welcome. I'm Brandon Rainey from Sandy Hook Promise.
Hi everyone. My name is Jordan and I'm a sophomore at Hickory Ridge High School in Harrisburg, North Carolina. I'm also a National Youth Advisory Board member for Sandy Hook Promise's SAVE Promise Clubs. SAVE stands for Students Against Violence Everywhere.
Hi, my name is Drew. I'm a senior at Cutler Bay Senior High in Cutler Bay, Florida. Like Jordan, I'm also a National Youth Advisory Board member for Sandy Hook Promise's SAVE Promise Clubs.
We're here to talk to you about the Say Something program, which will help you to save lives by empowering you to prevent shootings, violence, suicide, and other harmful acts in your school and community. Also, before we begin, I want to give you the number for the crisis text line in case you need help from an adult and your trusted adult isn't available. Take a moment and write down this number for the crisis text line. It is 741-741. A live trained crisis counselor will respond to provide support and help. Again, the number is 741-741. Now, let's hear from Jordan about a time when saying something saved lives.
I'm going to tell you a story about a student. As a freshman, she attended a Sandy Hook Promise Say Something training session. Because of what she learned at the training, she knew she should say something if she witnessed anything that was a serious threat. A few weeks later, a boy in her class posted a picture on social media with a gun in his hand, warning students not to come to school the following day because he was going to shoot it up. The kids at school were posting all over social media, warning their friends about how they were scared to go to school the next day. The student who attended the Say Something training, she made the choice to say something to a trusted adult. She took a screenshot of the post and showed it to her teacher right away. At first, she felt a little awkward and uneasy to talk with her teacher about this scary information. But she knew it was too important not to take seriously, and that she had to say something to an adult immediately. Afterwards, her teacher assured her that she did the right thing. Because she reported the threat, the school and the police were able to get involved before anyone was harmed. To this day, that student thinks about how terrible and tragic the situation could have played out if she hadn't taken action, if she didn't say something. By saying something, she helped save lives.
Today, you will learn 3 steps that will help you keep your friends and classmates safe from hurting themselves or someone else, simply by saying something. Step 1, recognize warning signs and threats. Step number 2, when you observe a sign or threat, act immediately and take it seriously. And step 3, say something to a trusted adult or call 911 in an emergency. Using these 3 steps will empower you to help keep your school safe and to get help for people who need it. Before we jump into each step, I want to emphasize that overall, schools are safe Your teachers, administrators, and staff are continuously working to ensure your school is safe as possible. However, schools are not immune to shootings, violence, suicide, and threats. There's still a possibility that these things can happen. That's why we're here today, to teach you 3 steps that you can use to help keep your school safe.
First, let's look at some numbers about violence, suicide, and threats that impact you. 20% of students report being bullied. 17% of students seriously consider suicide. 59% of students ages 14 to 17 have witnessed community violence in their life. That means, on average, well over half of you have witnessed violence somewhere outside of school. This could mean you saw a fight, someone getting robbed, or even a shooting. On average, there are 20 school shootings per year that kill or injure at least one person. We may not hear about all of them, but during this school year, we can expect about 20 schools in this country to have a shooting. I'm going to tell you 2 stories to illustrate these numbers. Here's the first story. The student who posted this couldn't get over a breakup with her boyfriend. He broke up with her just before Valentine's Day. She started coming to school late and cutting her classes. Then, she failed 2 of her classes in the first semester. Even though she'd been a star softball player for years, she quit the team and started talking about how meaningless life was. Then, she posted this image on Instagram, saying she wanted to end her pain altogether. This is an example of a warning sign of someone who is thinking of hurting themselves. Here's the second story. The student who posted this was getting bullied every week by a group of older students. He became severely depressed, started hating school, and began researching weapons and school shooters. He started to draw pictures of guns and death on his schoolwork. Just before Thanksgiving vacation, he posted, "Don't come to school tomorrow if you want to live." This is an example of a warning sign of someone who may be considering harming others.
As you can see from these stories, people can show warning signs before they hurt themselves or others. This means that when you see a warning sign, you have the power to help. Here are a few important numbers. According to a study by the U.S. Secret Service National Threat Assessment Center, 100% of school attackers in their study exhibited warning signs before they carried out their attack. An attack is defined as a current or former student who planned to physically hurt or kill at least one student or staff member. In each instance, they gave verbal, physical, or virtual signs that they were planning to hurt or kill people. For example, they posted on social media or tried to recruit others to help them. Recognizing these warning signs means that you can get help to stop the attack before it happens. When it comes to cyberbullying, that means bullying people online using text or social media. 59% of teens report being cyberbullied. If you see that someone is being bullied online, this means that you can stop it from happening. And young people who self-harm, which means they intentionally hurt themselves, are more likely to tell a peer and seek help from a friend rather than an adult. This means that if one of your friends is thinking of hurting themselves, for instance, by cutting themselves or considering suicide, they are more likely to tell you than an adult. If you see or hear that someone may hurt themselves, you are in a position to get the person help. You are the eyes and ears of your school.
Now I'm going to talk more specifically about what you can look out for. This is step 1, recognize warning signs and threats.
So what is a warning sign? A warning sign is something a person says or does that shows they may be planning to harm themselves or others. Here are some examples of warning signs a person may be planning to harm others. I want to emphasize, though, that this is not a list of every warning sign. Being obsessed with weapons or school shootings, talking about hurting other people, talking or posting about an upcoming attack, and bringing a weapon to school.
Here are some examples of warning signs a person may be planning to harm themselves. Feeling like things will never get better, talking about wanting to die, talking about a plan to die, and cutting or burning themselves.
Here are examples of warning signs that a person may be in crisis, which is when someone is going through something that is overwhelming and they need help. Big changes in personality or appearance. For instance, a friend who is usually happy is now frequently angry and aggressive. Withdrawal from friends and activities. For instance, a friend who hangs out with you almost every day after school, but now goes directly home to be alone. Refusing to go to school or skipping school a lot. Being physically or verbally abused. For instance, a friend who tells you his father hits him every time he fails a test. These are all warning signs.
Other warning signs that someone may be in crisis include being bullied or bullying others based on real or perceived differences, including any of the following: race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, disability, and body type.
As you've just learned, there are many warning signs we can watch out for. We also have to be aware of threats. So what is a threat? A threat is when a person communicates that they intend to harm themselves or others. Someone might say a threat, write a threat, or post a threat on social media. Here are some examples of threats to others. I'm going to take them all out. They will regret they ever met me. Here are some examples of suicidal threats. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to end it all. Where are these warning signs and threats found? Anywhere and everywhere. For example, you can find them in a school, in places like classrooms, the hallways, and the cafeteria, as well as outside of the school in places like the bus, at home, at parties, and at sporting events.
Social media is a main source of warning signs and threats. It's where so many students go to make a threat or express their feelings, including anger, anxiety, or depression. And what we know is that adults aren't on the same social media platforms we are, so they aren't seeing everything we see. That's why it's so important to learn how to recognize when someone needs help. You are the eyes and ears of your school. Let's look at some examples on social media.
This student texts, "Anything has to be better than this. Living like this." This is a warning sign that someone may be at risk of hurting themselves. This student posts, "It's over for all of you." This student is making a threat and at risk of hurting others. This student writes, "I know a big secret about her." She's planning to reveal something private about a classmate. This is bullying, and it is a warning sign.
Now, in your activity guide or on a separate piece of paper, I want you to write down 3 examples of warning signs that you just learned. Pause the video now and hit play when you're finished.
Now that you know step 1, how to recognize warning signs and threats, let's learn about step number 2. Act immediately and take it seriously. Act immediately when you see or hear a warning sign or threat and get help. It's essential to act immediately because all too often, no one acts at all.
It's important to acknowledge that it can be difficult to act immediately. Here are some reasons that people may give when they don't act immediately. She's too young to hurt herself. I thought someone else would do something about it, or he just wants attention. My friend will be mad at me. My friend won't trust me anymore. My mom told me to stay out of other people's business. Acting immediately can be difficult, but just because it may be difficult doesn't mean it's an excuse for doing nothing. Not taking warning signs seriously and failing to act immediately could result in tragic consequences for you, your friends, and your classmates. You are doing something brave when you act immediately to help a friend or classmate. Helping them is more important than them being mad at you.
One of the biggest reasons that can stop you from acting immediately is that you'll be called a snitch. But there's a big difference between snitching and saying something. When you snitch on someone, you're trying to get someone in trouble for your own gain. When you say something, you're getting someone help for their own safety and protecting others from harm. Saying something is simply about getting someone help.
Remember, it's important that if you see warning signs and threats, you act immediately and take it seriously. Be an upstander, someone who helps a person in danger of hurting themselves or others, and not a bystander, someone who sees warning signs and threats and does nothing. When you're an upstander, you have the opportunity to save someone's life. Now, in your activity guide or on a separate piece of paper, write down 2 reasons someone may not act immediately. Pause the video now and hit play when you're finished.
After you recognize warning signs or threats, act immediately and take it seriously. The third and final step is to say something to a trusted adult or call 911 in an emergency. I want to highlight that you should always say something if a friend or classmate is displaying warning signs or communicating threats. Also, if you recognize that you are displaying any of these warning signs, you should say something to a trusted adult. Trusted adults are adults who listen to you and take your concerns seriously. You are the best judge of the trusted adults in your life.
Your trusted adults can be a lot of different people. They could be your teacher, a school administrator, your school counselor, or your coach. And there are lots of different types of coaches. You could have a basketball coach, a drama coach, or a chess coach. Your trusted adult could also be someone outside of school as well. Your parent or guardian, a mentor, for instance, a family friend you can talk to, a family member or a community leader, for example, a religious leader like a priest or a pastor. I want to emphasize that this is not a full list of trusted adults. These are just a few examples. There may be other people in your life that are your trusted adult that are not included here. And it's important that you know who your trusted adults are right now. That way, if you see warning signs or threats, you'll know who to go to immediately. It can be hard to have these conversations, so let's look at a strategy you can use that might help you with these conversations. First, tell your trusted adult who you are concerned about. You can use this language to start the conversation. I'm concerned about. For example, I'm concerned about my friend. The second part is to describe what warning signs or threats you are seeing and bring any texts, videos, or pictures you may have. You can use the word because to start to describe why you are concerned. For example, I'm concerned about my friend because he's being bullied. The last part is to tell your trusted adult what you would like their help with. You can use the language, and I need your help to explain what you would like them to do. For example, I'm concerned about my friend because he's being bullied and I need your help to make it stop. To summarize, you can use this language to help you talk with your trusted adult. I'm concerned about, because, and I need your help to. And remember, if your trusted adult isn't available, you can also contact the crisis text line at 741-741. A live, trained crisis counselor will respond to provide support and help. If you haven't already, take a moment and write down the number of the crisis text line. It is 741-741.
Your next activity has two parts. First, write down who your trusted adult is and 2 reasons why they're your trusted adult. Second, within the next week, tell your trusted adult 1 reason why you chose them to be your trusted adult. Pause the video now and hit play when you're finished.
Now, let's talk about 911. You should only call 911 when there's an emergency and then tell a trusted adult. An emergency is when someone needs help right away because they are injured or in immediate danger. Now, I know calling 911 may seem difficult. You may be nervous because you've never called 911 before or worried about giving the right information. Also, sometimes people are concerned what's going to happen when they call 911. For instance, I have a friend who's had bad experiences with the police, and they're concerned about how the police might react if they call 911. I have another friend who has struggled with mental health, and they told me they're reluctant to call 911 because they're worried whoever responds may not understand their needs. This is why we want to provide you some more guidance about when to call 911. Call 911 when there's an emergency. This is when someone needs help right away because they are injured or in immediate danger. Here are examples of emergencies when you should call 911 first and then tell a trusted adult. Someone threatens to kill people and shows you a weapon. Someone threatens to take their own life and has access to pills or a weapon. Or someone is unconscious. Here are some examples of situations that are not emergencies. Someone stops coming to school. Still tell a trusted adult. If someone is very upset and angry, but not threatening anyone, still tell a trusted adult. If you have questions about when to call 911, talk with your trusted adult.
Today, you learn the 3 steps to say something. Step 1, recognize warning signs and threats.
Step 2, act immediately and take these warning signs seriously.
Step 3, say something to a trusted adult or call 911 in an emergency. By bringing the 3 steps of say something into our day-to-day lives, we as students will be able to reduce violence and threats in our schools and make our schools and communities a better place to be. We have that power to make a difference in the world around us just by saying something.
Thank you for giving this your full attention. The most important lesson is that you are never alone in keeping our school safe. If you see or hear something that worries you, speak to a teacher, counselor, administrator, or another trusted adult right away. And if you ever feel like you're in crisis yourself, you can text HOME, H-O-M-E, to 741-741 to connect with the crisis text line for immediate support. If there is ever an immediate danger or emergency, always call 911 first. Typically at school, where there are so many people available, you should have access to an adult in the case of an emergency. If you are worried about someone or something, but it's not an emergency, please talk to a teacher, counselor, or administrator here in the building. We also have a feature on our website, See Something, Say Something. This allows you to make a report about someone or something you may have a concern about. Please know this feature is not monitored at all times and should not be used in an emergency. To use See Something, Say Something, please go to www.springboro.org and click on See Something, Say Something in the top right corner. And finally, let's remember that staying safe also means being kind to one another. Looking out for each other, showing respect, and practicing kindness every day makes our school a better and safer place. Have a good rest of your day, and thank you for taking this seriously.